I'm Noah White, I'm from London, Kentucky, and I'm here to tell you about the evolution of the Western genre. Stories of bank robberies, shootouts, and hunting down the bad guys has entertained boys and men for over a century. The very first Western movie was The Great Train Robbery, filmed in 1903 by Edwin S. Porter, who was a former Edison Studios cameraman. This movie incorporated many new techniques that we still use today, such as cross-cutting, on-location shooting, and camera movement. This film contained scenes and plots that would be recreated and built upon in the years to come. During the time between the Great Train Robbery and 1930, over 5,000 westerns were shown on the screens across America. In the silent era, we see some huge innovations in the way movies were made. During the teens, the studios created early western stars and the stereotypical western movie plot that was highly received by the audience. Like the western movie star Ronald Reagan once said, "If you've seen one, you've seen them all." With the innovation of talking pictures in the 30s, the studios stopped production of the once famous westerns. While the smaller studios continued producing low-budget cowboy flicks, the genre would stay mostly dead until 1939, when it was revived by the top-grossing westerns like Dodge City, Jesse James, Destry Rides Again with James Stewart, and Stagecoach by John Ford featuring John Wayne. The popularity of the western continued to rise until its peak in the 1950s, when the number of western films produced outnumbered all other genres combined. Although these movies were somewhat predictable and stereotypical, that did not stop them from being huge successes. These are the westerns that most of us remember as classics. They created and perfected the personas of actors like John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, and Gary Cooper. Although these actors were in many different types of movies, they will always be remembered for their most iconic roles in westerns. The westerns of the 60s found themselves in a rough spot, Pilgrim. With the rise of television also came the western TV show, like Bonanza, The Rifleman, and Rawhide. These TV productions and the box office movies were constantly fighting against each other. The subgenre of spaghetti westerns begins to become popular later in the decade. They are called spaghetti westerns because the directors were Italians that used up-and-coming American actors like Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood's movies were very different from what the audience was accustomed to. They contained more violence and more language, and the hero was sometimes hard to spot. He could be good one minute and bad the next. The once obvious divide between good and evil had become blurred. Today, few westerns are produced, which is heartbreaking, and the most popular trend is the reboot. Now, reboots are proven to be even more financially successful than the original, but they do upset fans more often than not. There are still many western fans out there that love to rewatch the classics, but dislike the current westerns. It would make me very happy for the studios to find its way back to the classic American genre, but like Clint Eastwood once said, if you want to see a change for the better, sometimes you have to take things into your own hands.